Hey, how's it going everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you how I made my remake of Hedex's remix of Bru-C's track No Excuses.
Sad world, but you wanna be a happy girl. Guarantee tonight I can make you one.
Switch.
No excuses. We be going out tonight, no excuses. No excuses. We be going out tonight, no excuses.
Alright, so the first part of making this remake of this remix was to get the vocals for the original track. So what I did for that, I went onto iTunes and I bought the original track by Bru-C and then downloaded it. And what you can do is you can go to this website, acapellaextractor.com, and then you can just drag your audio file into here, and then when you download it, it will come out as a complete a cappella. If we have a listen through here to what came out.
If you don't like me, you can beat it. Got a little taste and now she won't eat it.
So what I did to these vocals, I'll go through the effects. I just put them into mono using Ozone Imager. Then I added some compression using Virtual Mix Rack. So this distressor, which is a model of an analog compressor, a bit of EQ to take some of the low end off, and some delay and reverb just to get the vocals sounding nice. And then obviously I would have cut them up to sound how they do in the original track. So then you end up with vocals like these.
Sad world, but she wanna be a happy girl. Guarantee tonight I can make you one.
And then obviously the drop comes in around there. So the next step is to grab some drums.
No excuses.
So what I did, I went on to Splice, just looking for a kick sample that I liked and thought fitted the original track. But obviously if you're going through this tutorial kind of looking to use it to create your own original track, you just go through for one that you like. Found one that I liked, and I eventually got this one, which is 04_JTH_kick if you want to steal it. And then we actually have some processing on the drum bus, which I'll come on to in a bit. But yeah, we've just got the kicks laid out like this.
Sad world, but she wanna be a happy girl. Guarantee tonight I can make you one.
So yeah, we just got that typical build-up pattern. Then I went through Splice, found some snares and claps that I liked. So we've got this clap. Then we've also got these snares. So I went through on Splice, had a search round for some good hat samples and found these.
No excuses.
Also on the drum bus, got some saturation, JST clip, some fresh air, and an EQ which is automated that I will show you to you in a bit how I automated that. And then the next step, of course, is the all-important bass.
One. No excuses.
So really, this is just two bass sounds. So on oscillator A, we've got this BS2 Filthy up 7 semitones, and we're automating the wavetable position through this LFO. We've got the sync turned up here, which just kind of, it duplicates the wavetable along, kind of. I don't really know how to explain that. And then we've also got the LFO on the level for both oscillators. Then oscillator B is on acid, which is under analog. These are both under analog, up 7 semitones again, and then turn the unison up to 3, add a bit of FM, and then we've also got a filter turned on for both A and B with the drive turned up, and then modulating the cutoff with LFO1. And then we also want to add the sub in, take this down 2 octaves, and oscillate the level with LFO1. And then in the effects section, we've got some distortion, just giving it a bit of drive, a little bit off the top end on this EQ. Then we've got this comb minus, which kind of gives it this rattly sound. And then also this multi-band compressor, which it would not sound as good as it does without this. Helps to crisp it up nicely. And then some chorus for a bit of stereo width. And then If we go into the processing on this, we've got an EQ to take off some of the low end because we're going to use a separate sub. Then we have OTT, not too high, only 28%, and adding some gain. And then a bit of reverb just here. And then Fruity Limiter as well, which is just sidechain to the kick. So for the sub, what I did was I just used a sine wave, no effects on. Turn the master up to max, and then if we look at the processing on this, some tape saturation here on the distortion, some multi-band compression with the gain cranked way up, but the mix taken back, and also the high end taken down, but the mids and lows cranked right up. Some EQ here just to help tame it off a bit, and then another filter just to help again tame off the high end. And then if you take this first bass that we've got, then in order to create this sound here, that reverse sound, what you want to do is you want to clone it. So if you right click, clone, and then set this to a quarter, and then you can drag this out as a sample. And it is important to note that the sample that's exported will be the same length as the last note you played. So only play one note. And then we can turn the trim all the way up on this, click reverse, click normalize, and turn the out like that. And then we get that reversed, and we can assign that to the same channel as before. And what I did, I turned on the envelope and use these settings just to get it sounding how I wanted. And then, yeah, we're using the same sub for that. And then the second bass we come on to is just two of the default waves in Serum. So we're going to turn oscillator A down 1 octave and up 7 semitones, and then assign LFO 1 to the level on both oscillators actually. Then we're going to turn oscillator B up 1 octave and up 7 semitones, and use some FM on oscillator A from oscillator B just to get them interacting nicely together. Then turn on the filter, turn up the drive a little, and make sure it's on A and B for this. That's very important. And we're going to have the cutoff like this, oscillating from LFO 1. And then we're going to use the sub down 2 octaves, but we're not going to turn it up all the way. I've just got it on 89 here. And then again, some asymmetrical distortion just to get it sounding nice. The chorus, again, just add a bit of stereo width, which I've oscillated from the LFO. And then combs here, which again just helps kind of give it a metallic sound. You can really tell the difference there. And then again, multi-band compression with a bit of gain just to help even bring out the top end a bit more. So with this first bass, we're just going to draw in a pattern like this. So it doesn't actually play on the first beat, it plays on the second beat of the first bar just there. And what I've done is I've slightly off-centered them just to give them the off-centered feel that if you listen to the original track, they've got in there. And then you can add these reverse notes in between them. And then we've got this pattern for this other bass that goes along there and then up and then back down. And then we can just do the same thing in here for the sub. Now, because the sub's playing one long note, it doesn't matter about modulating the rate or anything. But it's very important, I didn't mention this actually, to make sure that you have sidechained your kick to your sub, because otherwise it's going to interfere. So you can see just here it's sidechained, and I've added a limiter and sidechained it just there. So another thing we need to do to get the same bass pattern as the original track is go through and automate the rate of this here. So you can see here, I've assigned a macro to the rate here. Now, if you don't know what this does, what you want to do is turn on all of these. Make sure this is on trigger mode. So it's set to 1/8, but if I turn this up, you can hear it plays it faster. So I've just got that set to 4 there. So if you drag that on and turn it down to 4, and then that allows you to use automation like this to automate the rate. So if we have a listen here. Now we just need a few more finishing touches to get this more similar to the original track. So for this build-up section, which is kind of different. So what I did is I cloned this first bass, changed the LFO up a bit and put it on its own channel. And if we have a look at the processing on here, we've got an EQ to take off the low end, OTT on 56%. And then we've got this filter, which we're going to be automating. So we've got the resonance and cutoff set just there. If we take this filter here and automate it, we can draw a shape like this for the cutoff. And if we have a listen here, And I'll just show you, this is what I drew in the piano roll for this build-up section. And then I forgot to mention we should have this on a quarter triplet here. And we don't need to modulate the LFO or anything, that's not changing like in the main bass. That bit doesn't matter. And then if we have a listen to what we've got so far.
Sad world, but she wanna be a happy girl. Guaranteed tonight I could make you one.
Now, you may have noticed before when I showed you the drum bus, we've got this EQ here, which is doing nothing, but you can see it's kind of dipped off the low end here. Now, what we're going to do here is automate this. So right click, create automation clip, and we can just draw our own shape like this. So I've got this going up here, and where's this going up to? 0.3, if you want to copy that. And that's just going to help cut off some of the low end in the build up so it will have more impact in the drop.
Sad world, but she wanna be a happy girl. Guaranteed tonight I could make you one. No excuses.
Now, a few more small touches. What I've done is I've gone through and added some different effects and stuff. So here, it's not really an effect, but we've got a crash. And then if we go through, I've added in some other effects. So we've got this sweep in the build.
Sad world, but she wanna be a happy girl. Guaranteed tonight I could make you one.
Very subtle. And then we've also got these two cashmere effects just sweeping down here.
No excuses.
And then last up, we just got this little vocal sample, which I found on Splice, which is, I believe, the exact same one Hedex used in his remix.
Switch.
And then if we go through, just tidy everything up a bit and do some project organization, should come out with something like this. And overall, this is how it should sound.
Sad world, but she wanna be a happy girl. Guaranteed tonight I could make you one.
Switch.
No excuses. We be going out tonight, no excuses. No excuses. We be going out tonight, no excuses.
Alright, so I hope you found this helpful. If you want to download the presets, I'm going to leave a link for both of them. Well, the two main ones that we've got here, the main ones from the drop that you can download in the description for free, of course. And yeah, I hope you found this useful. If you did, please subscribe because I'm going to be doing plenty more tutorials like this. And yeah, thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.